Let me help you to know the subtleties of the Force.
We would be honored if you would join us.
Count Dooku became a Sith after he had been on the Jedi Council for many years. Before that, he had grown up in the temple from the time that he was a baby. Dooku called the Jedi his family. He grew up in a family of light side of Force users, so you'd think his transition to the dark side would be quite difficult. But we learn in the new audiobook, Dooku Jedi Lost, that Dooku received instruction in ways of the Sith from the time that he was a youngling in the temple. Not from Yoda, but from a Jedi Master named Lyn Costana. I've mentioned Master Costana in a variety of other videos since she played such a pivotal role in Dooku's training, but I wanted to do a video just about her since she's so fascinating and because I'd like to see more of her. Costana was a female Altiri Jedi Master who served the Order prior to Episode 1. She had the unique job of searching the galaxy for Sith artifacts to be stored in the Bogan collection of the Jedi Archives, a place that only Masters could go. She performed these searches not because the Council told her to, but because she felt the Sith were about to return and that the Jedi Order needed to be prepared for it. In fact, the Council and her never really saw eye to eye about anything, especially the Sith artifacts. She even calls Yoda an old goblin behind his back and thought it was ridiculous that he wouldn't let her study the prophecies about the Sith. She insisted to Yoda, "Something's coming, Master Yoda. I can feel it?" asks Yoda. Unfortunately for her, despite years of searching, she found very little relics or evidence, mostly probably because Sidious or Plagueis were so good at covering their tracks. But she did learn a lot about the dark side and taught everything that she knew. When Dooku was still a youngling, he and his best friend, Sifo-Dyas, which I just made a video on yesterday, hope you enjoyed it, broke into the Bogan collection to see what was there. While they were there, Dooku saw a vision of a Tirataka, a giant dragon-like creature that the ancient Sith controlled on Dooku's home planet of Sereno. Dooku would later control the same creature with the Force to kill his older brother. But that's another story, so check out my video about that. But back to when Dooku was an initiate, Master Costana was very intrigued that the Bogan collection would trigger such a Force nightmare in young Dooku. So she placed some Sith manuscript pages into Sifo-Dyas' book for both initiates to find. Dooku believed this was a sign that she was trying to convert them to the Sith. So Dooku takes his lightsaber and confronts her. Just imagine, a little youngling confronting a Jedi Master and challenging them to a duel. It's kind of funny. Anyways, Dooku thinks that she's a Sith and attacks her. Costana is impressed by Dooku's skills and makes up a tale about a fictional Darth Sicaea who also used a curve-hilted lightsaber. Dooku presses his attack more and more until Costana actually gets a little scared of the fury and darkness within Dooku. Yoda finally arrives and stops the fight and tells Dooku that it was all a test to see how Dooku would react and to teach him that the darkness he felt within Costana was actually within Dooku himself. In other words, Dooku had to be careful to not let his inner darkness control him. This is kind of like Mace Windu, how he had a darkness within him and he used Vapad, he created Vapad, which was a variant of the 7th lightsaber fighting form to harness the dark side within him, or channel it. Dooku's fascination with Master Costana never went away. He originally wanted her to choose him as her padawan and was disappointed when she chose Sifo-Dyas instead. However, because Yoda wasn't the most ever-present master due to his role as Grandmaster, Dooku spent a lot of time with Master Costana and Sifo-Dyas over the years. Now, here's where she teaches him about the Sith, and I want to clarify something very clear. She does not teach him how to be a Sith, but rather teaches him about the Sith and the dark side, so he can know how to defeat it, since she believed that they would eventually return and the Jedi had to be ready. She saw the dark side within Dooku and believed that he would either be a powerful weapon against the Sith or could be a powerful weapon for the Sith. She did not want Dooku to grow up to be the dogmatic, narrow view of the Jedi, which would contribute to Anakin's downfall years later. For instance, Master Costana taught Dooku animal kinship, which is the Force power of bonding with animals, and also taught him how the Sith used it to force animals to do their will. She did this so Dooku would know what not to do. Check out my video about this power for more info. I'm gonna release it around this one. Ironically, Dooku does delve into the dark side to control the Tirataka when he forces it to defeat his brother's droid army. On another journey, Costana, Dooku, and Sifo-Dyas travel to the planet of Karazak to scour the black market for rumored Sith relics there. In the years of Dooku's time as a Jedi, the Bogan collection doubled in size and the amount of Sith artifacts being sold on the black market, most fake and worthless, exploded. Costana felt that all it would take would be one genuine artifact from falling into the wrong hands to be a destructive force against the Jedi. While they are there on Karazak, the Jedi are captured by a dark side cult called the Presagers. I also did a video on this, but basically, during the attack, Dooku sees many possibilities of the future and uses Force lightning for the first time to kill them all and save Sifo and Kostana. Kostana helps Dooku see what he did, how to control it, and most importantly, vows to keep it a secret from Yoda and the Jedi Council. She feels that Dooku needs time to figure out how to control the lightning so that he may never dive that far into the dark side and do it again. She also teaches him about seeing the future and how Force visions are never a guarantee of what is to come. She teaches him that the dark side tries to control the future while the Jedi try to do the will of the Force. Master Kostana is later with Dooku on Sereno when Dooku leaves the Jedi Order. She says they'll always be there for him, but as far as we know, they never see each other again. But her influence on Dooku is undeniable. So, why is she so fascinating? Well, to start, she's not your typical Jedi. The typical Jedi never studied the Sith because there was no chance of them returning. Most Jedi also followed the Jedi Code that they wouldn't keep secrets like a Jedi using Force lightning from the Council. So I'm anxious to know what happens to Master Kostana. Does she find out about the return of the Sith and Plagueis and Sidious have to take her out if, Plagueis is back to being canon, which I hope he is. Perhaps she is someone Maul has to kill prior to episode 1. Does Dooku try to convert her to the dark side like he does to convert Rael Averross, his former apprentice? I want to see more of her. What do you guys think? Do you think she's around when episode 1 happens, or does she meet her end prior to that? Let me know down in the comments below. Stay tuned for the other Dooku videos and everything revolving around him and all the other content that I've got coming for you guys. Hit like on this video if you enjoyed it, and I hope you really did. Until the next episode, remember, the Force will be with you always.
Now, fulfill your destiny.